So, hello, Poojan, and a formal welcome to this call. As I said, glad to see you
Thank
after
you.
2 months, and congratulations for getting one of the dream placements from the campus.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and just for other people who are present here, I would like you to introduce yourself to others.
Sure, sure.
Some of
And
them
before
are
I,
also admits, by the way. Uh,
oh,
yeah, I think two or three admits have joined, so that would be another great interaction for you to talk about your
awesome,
ISB
awesome,
experience.
awesome.
Yeah.
Done. And just before I start, I see 10 black boxes, 12 black boxes. If you guys are comfortable, you can switch your videos
Yes,
on.
I
Help out.
always say this, if it is comfortable for people, please switch on
Yeah,
cameras. It would be the interaction would just become better. I'm just giving the access to everyone. Okay.
yeah. Cool, cool. So I'll start. So I am a chartered accountant and I qualified in 2019. And and all of them are CAs, right? In this call.
No, 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 no.
Okay,
There are some CS for sure, but I have offered
got
it to everyone.
got. So I mean, we have to do this 3 year articleship, right? And through my articleship, I realized that although I'm doing CA, I'm probably not the most interested in audit, taxation, accounting, all of that. So I took the first non-audit, non-accounting job that came my way from CA campus. So this was in 2019. I got into uh, Udan in 2019, which was then the fastest to become a unicorn. And this was in their FP&A business finance sort of a role. I did that for about a year, 15 odd months. Uh, I was already working. So business finance and FP&A role in any company works very closely with strategy to sort of map out project, make sure the costs are good, the revenue numbers are good, ROI is good. So I was already starting to get interested in strategy roles. And it was just at this 15-month mark when I got a call from Meesho. And Meesho, this is late 20, early 21. Meesho was a 300 people company. And when I got the call, I had not heard of them, right? So I got the call, I researched about the company and I got back to them saying, okay, this looks interesting, right? So I joined Meesho in early 21, February, March of 21, again in a business finance role. Did that for about 10 odd months. And by now I was sure I want to do a strategy role, although I'd done CA and worked in finance. And fortunately, Meesho was growing very fast at that point, and for them, it came down to 2 months of onboarding someone, 3 months of training them, then 2 months for them to get up to speed versus somebody like me who probably didn't come from a strategy background, but was on would hit the ground running because I had the company contacts. I was already on board with what the team was doing, all of that. So they decided to take a chance on me and gave me a strategy role. This was early 22. It took me some time to sort of hit the ground running. It wasn't as easy. The transition, the skill set is completely different. And but with time, I was able to sort of scale up, got a promotion or two, and had a really good time. This and I worked at Meesho till end of 24. And then during this time, so how Meesho hired the strategy teams is mostly ex-consultants from MBB. That's how they built their strategy teams. And
Oh,
I got a chance to work very closely with all of these people. And I realized these are some crazy smart folks. Like, I mean, there's no two ways about it. Some of the smartest people I know. And then I tracked down their journey saying, okay, an academic background in, let's say, marketing, strategy, operations, game theory, negotiation, all of this that I've never learned before might help me out, right? And then probably a stint in consulting that might help me out is how I was thinking about it. And that's how I thought of ISB. And again, ISB was a straightforward decision because by now I'd been working 4 years. So I didn't want to go to a 2 year program where, let's say, 60-70% batch is fresh right out of college, right? I wanted to work in a program that has people with similar sort of context like me, right? And again, 1 year program, you remain unemployed for just a year and you could
yeah.
bounce back faster. And I didn't want to go abroad. Like I want to stay in India. My family's here. My wife's here. So it's very clear to me. So ISB was the only school I applied to. So I started thinking about MBA early 23 is when I started thinking about doing an MBA. So in Jan, I started prepping for GMAT while I was working. And that took me about 3 or 4 months because I was working alongside it. And it's some of the busiest days in my life that I remember. It's not easy to do GMAT GRE with work. Like No, again, no two ways about it. I got back then it was GMAT Classic. I got about 730. And yeah, about May or April, I had zeroed in that ISB is probably the only school I want to apply to. And I started writing essays by May or June. Spent some good 2, 3 months writing and perfecting my essays and my profile and all of that, the resume and all of that. And by September, I think by late August or early September, start prepping for my interviews. Now, again, I put in a lot more effort because this was the only school I was applying to, and I didn't want to delay it by a year because I'd already worked 4 years. Like I was in a very critical point in my life where I didn't have two chances. It was that sort of a point. So, and that's where I met Anshul, by the way. I wanted to prepare for my interviews, and I heard of him through LinkedIn, through a couple of friends, and joined a WhatsApp group, and then he helped me prepare for interviews. Did a few rounds with Anshul. Uh, and my interview was, which were extremely helpful, by the way. The feedback was very succinct to the point, really helped me in the real interviews as well. And I remember, I think Anshul took a couple of rounds. The approach was very different. The first round was very standard, saying, was a measurement round, like, where are you? Are you bottom 50 percentile, top 20 percentile? Where are you? And I think he realized that I was probably basics were covered. So the second round that we did, he just asked me, all questions were the most difficult questions. And so
Never ask such questions to anyone. You what
Yeah.
Because I
I clearly
realized
remember.
that they would also figure out in the real interview that you're well prepared and then
Yeah,
step up. They will not
correct.
let you go if you think that you are well prepared.
Yeah, yeah, correct. Absolutely. Yeah. So that happened, and I think I was around one. So October interview happened mid-November. I got my acceptance 17th November, 4 p.m. Best day of my life.
Even I
One
remember
of
the date and time of my admit. Yes, admit
one of
mail.
the best days. Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, so the result came in November. I quit in December. Had a couple of really good months between work and before ASB started. And so ASB started in first week of April, like second week of April, I think. And but before I go into the ASB journey, I think if you guys have any questions on the application, essays, interview
I
prep,
want you to
uh,
also talk about your GMAT
uh,
preparation, Poojan, because
yeah,
you did not take a lot of time to prepare for GMAT, and I think it was
yeah,
your first attempt only, right? 730.
first attempt, yeah, first
So
attempt.
some tips, where did you prepare from? How did you
Sure,
manage?
sure.
Very hectic. I'm sure Misho would be a crazy place to
Yeah,
be. How did you
Misho
manage?
back then was crazy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I took this subscription called Magoosh, and they are good. Like they're not bad, and but they're
Hmm.
not excellent. They're good, above average, good, right? So,
Hmm.
and I started prepping for that from that, and I also bought the official guide from GMAT, and I only used it to do the questions, not read through it. Like it's a, I don't know, 1,000-page book. It's a waste of time reading through it. So just do the questions out of it. And Magoosh has this conceptual videos, like 10-minute, 15-minute videos per concept, and then followed by some practice questions. So I
Okay.
started with Magoosh, did Magoosh's practice questions, and then did a few more practice questions from the official guide as well. And I also gave 4 official mocks. Um, and I would advise giving first mock, let's say a month into your prep, to basically figure out where do you have to work more. So when I gave my first official mock, my verbal was sorted. Like for some reason, it was sorted. Like I didn't have to work too hard on my reading comprehension and logical reasoning and all of that. Maybe sentence correction a little bit more, but reading comprehension and logical reasoning for some reason were good. But I sucked at math. Like I just couldn't get a good score at math. And so all 3, 4 months that I spent, the equation would be 70, 75% math prep and 20, 25% verbal prep. That this because I knew where I lacked in, and how I knew is I gave official mock a month into my prep. So I'd advise you doing that. Probably 30 days, just brush up everything once and give a mock. You'll realize where you lack. And yeah, that was about it. Like even in the main exam, my verbal score was 98th, 99th percentile, and my math score was like I think 80th percentile or something, 77th percentile, or something. Not that great. And that's why my GMAT was 730, which I think is 96th or 97th percentile for the classic exam. If I'd done better in math, I could have gotten 740 or 750. But yeah, it's what's weak is weak, right? Uh, so that was about my GMAT prep. But again, broad level advice would be to not get lost in details. Start with questions. So Maghosh had this very fun. sort of a interface where you could just keep doing questions, and whenever you get a question wrong, they'll we link to the video where the concept was explained. So I'll just do 20-25 questions every day at the start. I'll get five wrong, and I'll go to the link to the video to understand the concept and practice a few more questions. So I started with questions, so I never got bored. If you start with a lot of theory right off the bat, you might get bored because if it's been a while since you have last studied in a UG or something, it's easy to get bored when you start studying. So, and this are my fair broad insights on GMAT. Figure out where you're good at, so you don't spend a lot of time mastering what you're good at. There's a fallacy here, right? Because if you, I was good at verbal because I liked verbal, and if I didn't test out myself, I would have kept doing verbal because I like doing it. And at the end of the day, I would have just been good at verbal and really sucked at math, and I wouldn't have crossed 700. So it's important to tell yourself, don't keep doing what you like doing. It's probably the other way around. You might need to do something that you don't enjoy doing, and probably you're bad at it. So, and those broad advice would be that. I mean, don't get lost in details. Practice questions, and then understand the concept linked to the question, and figure out what you're good and what you're not good at. So you know where to invest it. That's what.
Okay, Astha has asked a good question. I'm a CA and CFA all levels, currently 1.5 years at Accenture Strategy, but I want to move to strategy role or IB or PE or VC. Okay,
Mhm.
so is it easy to switch? Do CA get preferences? Also, who did you take help for essays?
Sure. So three questions. I mean, first we'll start with the fin thing, right? So again, it's an excellent profile, CA, CFA, all levels. Accenture Strategy is a great firm. But if you want to go to finance role, which is IB or PE, and my understanding through this year has been that IB and PE aggressively hire through the internship
Yeah,
mode, which is they would want you to intern first and then
I
convert
think
to a
those
PPL.
roles will go to the PGPYL now.
PGPY or your other 2 year older programs that
I'm talking
like
about
all.
within the ISP ecosystem. Those
Yeah,
roles will
correct,
go to
correct.
PGPYL.
Correct. So if you're hell-bent on doing a finance, like a core finance role, IB or P, I would suggest you to look for a 2 year program, whether it be ISB or whether it be IIMs, right? Because it gives you an internship opportunity which gets converted to a full-time role. A direct conversion from here is with a non-finance background previously, which is Accenture Strategy is a non-IB background. It's almost impossible to go to an IB role. What I would suggest, based on my experience of this year at least, where market may drastically improve and things change, but I mean, let's be realistic types. Right? And on strategy roles, ISB is great for strategy roles. So be it strategy roles at startups, all of your startup would hire for CEO's office, founder's office, manager strategy, all of those roles come plentiful. Even if you want to do strategy at a bigger company, which is the management trainee roles at HUL or Reliance or some of those roles, which are maybe even Adani, all of those roles are again come in good numbers. And strategy consulting is obviously there. All consulting firms hire from ISB, be it the MBBs, be it the Big Fours, be it Accenture, be it a few firms from Dubai. A lot of consulting firms hire from ISB. So if strategy is your goal, then ISB is a good choice. But if fin is your very sharp goal, then just think about it. Yeah. So did I answer everything? Did I miss anything out?
Do CA get preferences? She's asking.
So ISB is very high on diversity. So non-male, non-engineer, all of that is are brownie points. But yeah, so especially at ISB, diversity is valued a lot, and CA is some form of diversity. So for sure, like
Also,
even at IIMs, yes. But yeah.
Nishesh is asking some. Nishesh, you can unmute and also switch on your video.
Yeah, sure. So hi Poojan, hi Anshul.
Hi.
Uh, Hi. So Poojan, I am also a CA. I've cleared 2 levels of CFA, and I've actually got an admit from ISB. I'm deciding on joining ISB, but just had a question regarding the finance roles at ISB. So I have an experience of more than 3 years with PwC in the deals and valuations team. So how probable do you think do I stand a chance of getting into finance roles from ISB?
And when you say finance roles, do you mean IB, PEVC, all of those?
Yeah,
Yeah,
IBP.
same thing I said earlier. Like these roles
Okay,
are very internship heavy. Like you
okay,
you should prefer a program that offers a summer internship.
understood, understood.
Guys, other people, I would be glad if I asked to put in the chat while Poojan was speaking. Now he is ready to take your queries. So it would be much better if you just like unmute and ask and switch on your camera. That would make it more interactive. Whoever has put,
Hey, Poojan. Hi,
hi,
Poojan.
yeah.
Hey Niranjan, what's
Uh,
up? How's Misho treating you?
very taxing, but now it's sale going on. Today's the first day of sale, so
Yeah, crazy
so
times. So yeah.
middle of work, but sort of attending the session.
Hmm.
So just wanted to understand, Poojan. Like we had a lot of conversation earlier, but didn't get to ask this. So did the Misho brand name help you in interviews? Like did
Oh yeah.
because
Misho,
as well as I was hearing
absolutely.
that they have a good brand name in ISB, and do they come again for recruitments also, and what roles they provide?
Misho didn't come this year, and probably you would know internally there has been some sort of realignment about sort of how they want to hire for the future, right? And
But
probably we can connect offline for that. But Misho didn't come for hiring, but Misho as a brand
Hmm,
name really works. Like, I mean,
hmm,
the if you know the Misho story and if you know how to tell it, uh, it's a good
hmm.
selling point. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So somebody asked about GRE, GRE, GMAT. There's no difference.
yeah,
I
absolutely
don't.
no difference.
uh, And Anshul would remember the score cutoffs. I don't
I
really remember this.
want to just add on to this, just to explain it to everyone. People say GMAT is preferred over GRE because a lot of admits are go with GMAT, but that's a big cognitive bias, I would say. It's a error in cognitive something is a psychological term, I forgot. Because please understand the average GMAT is 655, okay? And average GRE is 329. It's very much easier to score a higher than average GMAT, that is higher than 655, than a higher than average GRE, that is 329. That's the reason you will see more GMAT people in the batch and lesser GRE people. It does not mean they are biased against GRE. It's just that somehow the average for GRE has shot up. 329 क्रॉस करना difficult है GRE में. Let people say GRE is an easier exam. It is, but it is not easy to cross 329. While it is not very difficult to cross a 655 in classic GMAT. So there is no bias. Please, last year, the guy from Poojan's batch, at least through me, the guy who got the highest amount of scholarship, which was 18.5 lakh scholarship. He is a GRE holder. So please do not listen to random rumors. There's a big rumor floating. Every year, some new rumor keeps coming. I don't know from where. So please do not. Yeah, as Nilanjan said, same effort to get 655 in GMAT will get you max 320 or 325 in GRE. Again, this is very subjective, but I kind of agree with Nilanjan. So please,
And
that's the reason. Yeah, Poojan.
so just going through other questions, somebody has asked other fin profiles. So FP&A and business finance are other fin profiles that get hired from ISB, and those are not internship models. So Amazon hires for their fin profile, HUL hires for their fin profiles. These are accounting slash business finance slash FP&A sort of profiles, and this do not require what do you call an internship sort of model. Only IBP, VC, core finance requires that. But there are a few other finance roles you can target, business finance being the most frequent. Cool. So, should I talk about my time at ISB, or am I
Yes,
missing any other
yes.
question?
What
Yeah,
all
how do
did you
I?
do?
I'm just going through questions. How do I manage my time with work? I think I was the morning person, so I would just do a couple of hours before work started on weekdays, and weekends you can sort of put in a couple more hours. And I didn't do it every day. Like I'm human. Work would be more on a few days. I wouldn't feel great on few days. So I mean, target for 4 out of 7 days or 5 out of 7 days. 5 out of 7 days is a good week. Don't try for 7 on 7 and all of that. That's not sustainable over 4 months. So just give time to yourself. That's you're gonna be fine.
Guys,
Uh,
again, I repeat, please unmute and ask here. Let's make it more interactive. Don't make us read the chats. Yeah, Devansh.
Hi, Poojan. Hi, Anshul. I just had one question. Do you know of any infrastructure financing roles that may come at ISB for placements? This is a very
Uh,
niche area,
hmm.
but I
And when you
was
say infra
curious.
finance, that's almost PE, right? That's almost private equity, right? Like I put them in the same bucket. Like there were a few fin roles, and ISB has done a really good job at bringing fin roles this year. I mean,
Oh, is it?
there's no mistaking it that they're really good fin roles. But
So
uh,
sorry to interrupt both of you. I
hmm,
really want to kind of
hmm.
take a note. So the general consensus, earlier consensus that ISB is not really a go-to school for
Hmm.
finance. That has changed according to you?
It's not changed. Like it's not equal to consulting, but it's better than it was most
Hmm.
years. Like
No, I mean,
two
I'm comparing with previous years. Like,
previous years, it's better. But the problem with fin roles would always be that fin people go to fin roles. Like pivoting to a fin role would always require a an
obviously,
internship.
obviously,
Like
obviously.
that's
You
my only
cannot
point.
change
Like
what you have done for so many years and expect ISB to
correct,
do
correct.
some
And if you
miracle.
want to do it, do an internship program. Like that might allow you to do it. They'll also give you a chance if you do enough, sort of.
And also, the other way is also difficult. Finance people trying to move to non-finance roles. Non-finance, I mean marketing kind of roles, not consulting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you have done fin for 4, 5, 6 years, it's difficult to think.
I had a CA in my
Uh,
batch, just to let you know, Poojan and other CAs. She was like, I just want to get out of this entire finance, no matter what. And she
uh,
really toiled hard, but it was very difficult for her to do anything in marketing. But she got a sales role in CCD, Cafe Coffee Day. Horrible work culture, typical Lala culture. But she
hmm.
preserved. उसको आई रिमेम्बर बिजनेस ट्रिप के लिए सेकंड एसी का टिकट देते थे वो इमेजिन एन आईएसबी ग्रेड but she preserved. She like, I love the job, I just hate the culture and the people and everything else, but I'm really learning ropes of sales and marketing. And after 2 years she got a product marketing role in Razorpay because she had a finance uh,
Hmm. Yeah,
background.
yeah, makes
And
sense. I would say,
she's at
Anshul,
a very senior role in Pine Labs. So
uh,
such kind of transition is possible, but it takes a lot of effort. You cannot expect that it would be served on a platter, finance to marketing or marketing to finance, for example. Poojan, correct me if I'm wrong.
it's true. And anything else to finance is more difficult than finance to anything else. Like at least some people in my
Okay.
batch, some of my closest friends are CAs here, and they
Hmm.
did middle office valuations, middle office M&A, those sort of roles, not front
Hmm.
facing IB, but
Hmm.
middle office IP and middle office valuations profile. Wale had a few friends here, and those
Okay.
people could pivot to one person got chairman office with Murugappa Group, and the other person got Analysis Mason, consulting with Analysis Mason. So, spin to other profiles is difficult, but ISB can make that happen because ISB has a plethora of other roles.
Yeah.
Strategy and product roles are abundant at ISB. So you can go from a fin profile to other profile, but because fin roles are so niche at ISB itself, they would auto filter people with very good fin experience to interview for them. So again, it's because the quantity of roles is so different. Fin to anything else is very much possible. Anything else to fin, you would require a good fin background to be able to do it. And Devansh, sorry if I sort of rotated around your question, but if you are asking for infrastructure financing, I think a friend of me here was from infra financing. He then went on to head strategy at Joe Stocks, and then he's now going to McKinsey. But um, I think
What's his
it's
name?
Sheenab Dhar.
No,
That's
I
I
heard.
mean one of the smartest people I know in
Hmm.
the batch. Right? I mean I learned more from his doubts than the professor sometimes. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
sort of top one
My
percentile.
my
Uh,
closest friend was a third three-digit rank holder in IT, and
uh,
he was also in Misho for a while, I guess. No, he was
oh,
in Zepto.
oh,
No, he was in Misho. Yeah, Mahesh.
oh, Mahesh, no? Yeah, I know Mahesh. Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
and
He's now with Zepto, no?
he taught me everything which
Uh,
numbers.
Mahesh was amazing. Yeah,
The
I
moment I
worked with
used to see numbers for the first two or three uh, like oh,
him.
terms in ISP, I was like, yeah, this guy will tell me how to understand this.
Yeah,
Mahesh is like associate director in Zepton.
Yes.
yeah, Mahesh is with Zepto.
Yeah, yeah, I know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know, I know, like, I know. We are in touch. But he's
Cool.
amazing, mind-blowing guy.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah. He's still very, very approachable. I was always in touch
and he
during this
is
year.
so
So
humble.
approach.
He told me because he took a lot of mock interviews last year. Till your time also, Poojan, for everyone. And he wrote me a very nice message. Anshul, I'm so thankful to you that you sent me these people because I got to learn a lot from them. Like, oh God, this guy is, I mean, I don't know what to say.
I know. Cool.
So,
Let's come to my time at ISB if there's nothing else.
yeah, no, Harshvardhan wants to ask something. So,
Yes. Hi, Anshul. Hi, Poojan. I had a couple of doubts with respect to the finance role. So I'm currently in financial operations, and I know I work in Goldman Sachs, and I know Goldman Sachs comes to ISB as well, and there's also Barclays India's and all of that. So if when they're coming back, what kind of roles are they looking at? And if I want to pivot to such roles such as investment banking, would it be possible for me?
If you're already coming from finance, depending on what you did, like if you did middle office M&A, front office M&A, middle office valuations, I mean that should be possible. Barclays came with a front office IB role. I don't remember Goldman coming this year or maybe coming this year, but not with a front end role. I'm not so sure. I don't remember it from the top of my head, but the rule is simple. If you have good, deep fin experience, ISB can get you a really good fin role. But if you are trying to pivot to a core fin role from a non-fin background, think about it twice. But if you're coming from fin and want to go to somewhere else, again, ISB can help you. Basic rules, but when you say fin operations, it could be internal accounting, trade accounting, all of that as well. I mean, I don't really understand how the entire IB funnel works because I've not worked in it. But if it's not part of the M&A funnel or the valuations funnel, sometimes they might not consider it as a core fin skill, right? So it's good to sort of introspect and maybe talk to a few people who have gotten into IB roles from colleges like ISB, IIMs, and talk to them about what this means for them and if this can help you out. Because I was clear I want to keep moving away from fin from the day I became a CA, right? So I didn't fully understand this funnel in the first place. So yeah, so that's.
Thank you. And do you have any idea on how, if ISB is a good school for operations management?
yeah.
Correct. So operations roles, again, so operations faculty at ISB, I believe, are the best faculty at ISB. Amongst all faculties at ISB, ops faculties are the best.
Even
So
though I
to
couldn't
learn,
understand much, but I realized that they're good.
it's the best. Like you wouldn't get this good faculties for any other branch here at ISB. And in terms of placements, Amazon hires for operation. A lot of companies hires for operations. Like all of TV, all of the manufacturing companies you can think about, they'll come and have
A lot of logistic companies
a lot of logistics.
like
So operations is
Delivery
good.
and Blackbuck and all the top
Correct.
logistic companies.
Understood. Thank you.
Ops is good. Yeah.
And also very easy to get if you can just show a few things in your resume. They will shortlist you and then you can convert very easily.
Correct. Yep.
At least that was the case during my time.
Should be because ops mein competition is the lowest. Like
Yes.
very few people are dil se passionate for ops. Ops is
Yes.
a hard job. So
Yes. But it pays well.
it pays well and it's super important. Like that's what I realized. Like you can make all sort of decks, but if it's not done operationally, it's yeah.
Right. Yeah, Harshvardhan, you are waiting since a while. Please unmute and please ask.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, sure. That's all.
So basically, I wanted to ask that. So currently, I'm working in Deloitte, and earlier I have worked with PwC as well, and I'm also a CA. But my work has revolved around deals taxation. So I'm a part of a deals team, and we focus on the taxation part. But I aspire to do an MBA, and I want to get into consulting. So do you think that my work background, it's not core finance also, and it's not like on the strategy side also? So do you think that will be a disadvantage? And if
No,
yes,
I
what should I?
had a friend who had an identical profile to you. Probably a couple of friends who had very, very Big Four internship, worked in Big Four, middle office valuations, middle office M&A, exactly the same profile. Got shortlists and converts both for strategy and consulting roles. Nothing to worry about.
Okay. Yeah, because I've heard that tax is like, taxation profiles are like not that common also. So that's the
Is it
reason.
100% through and through taxation?
Yeah,
All your
like
years?
it's majorly focused on taxation only, my work. But yeah, we do handle regulatory aspects of a particular transaction also. If a
But
merger is
this
happening,
depends
or
on how you position it, right? So, like it's also Uh, Taxation work could also be positioned as it's also part of sort of merger strategy, and depends on how you position it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if it go detailed and talk bare bones terms of taxation might not help, but if you position it as some sort of M&A strategy, sort of that it might help. But I don't think that's a big problem. Like when I talk about resume, I'll talk about positioning your work ex, but it depends on how you position it. But it shouldn't be too difficult. Because I'm just referring from my friends who had similar profiles and they had middle office valuations and middle office M&A. They could do it, and how they positioned their M&A roles were on strategizing, saying which two companies fit well, on identifying which companies fit well together, on identifying synergies, on understanding their business models and recommending solutions on how their business models could be improved to work better together. If you start positioning things like this, it'll help.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Bobby has asked a question. I would reply to that first because I have something to reply, and then Poojan can add his own comments to that. ISB values diversity. Can you elaborate on what roles are usually offered at ISB to people with niche background like hotel management, lawyers, etc.? I'll talk about hotel management because my closest friend from ISB, she was a hotel management graduate, and she got one of the most competitive jobs. That was Aditya Birla Group Leadership Program. I remember 600 people had applied to that program. They took finally 6 or 7 people, and she was one of them. They had 8 rounds of selection, which included a lot of some physical work they need to do in a group. They needed to do some bridge and all, and there were behavioral psychologists watching over them. And she cracked one of the roles, and she's one of the smartest person I know from ISB. Not smart in terms of grade; her grades were never very good, but she is smart, and she had worked for all top companies like ShareChat. Uh, what is the parent company of TikTok? I forgot the name.
ByteDance.
ByteDance. These are not easy companies to get. She worked at Aditya Birla and then she worked at these companies. These and while competing with typical IITians and typical number crunching nerds. So it all depends on how smart you are. I remember there were 3 hotel management graduates in Hyderabad campus. She did monumentally better than other two of them. Other two of them were in operations. They did well, but she really surpassed everyone else, even though her grades were not good. So it depends on a lot on your capacity. You will have enough opportunities, mostly toward operations, marketing kind of roles you'll get, general management kind of roles. Lawyers, I had one lawyer in my batch. She was jobless till almost till the end. Then she joined some gaming company to take care of their legal stuff, and then immediately joined BCG in their law division, and she became a director within 4 years in BCG. So opportunities are plenty. All you need to do is to worry how to get a seat. Once you get a seat, ISB will take care of everything. If you have some more examples or anything to add.
Yeah, so in our batch, at this very quick example, I know of 2 lawyers. One is going to BCG as a management consultant,
Okay.
and one is going to Sears for a legal management role that is sort of created for him, right? So
Okay.
I would say the guy going to Sears did sort of face some turbulence to finally land that job. But the guy who went to BCG management consulting had multiple other offers and chose BCG. So I would say a similar example for a couple of people coming from ISRO. They were sort of working on sort of aeronautical engineering and all of those stuff. One lady got a really good job fairly easily, low friction, and the other guy struggled till the very end, again, landed a job. But the difference and the delta is sort of how you position it, what you do here, how intense you are, how good your prep is, how good your resume looks, how good your interview prep is, how well do you do case breakdowns, case preparations, all of that. So all of those is really important. So even with very similar career backgrounds in diverse profiles, outcomes have been very different depending on how they prepped here and how they did on the details. So yeah.
Right. Also, a lot depends on what you do in those 5, 6 months before your placements.
Absolutely.
It's a good opportunity to module to kind of remodel your entire profile towards towards the role that you want. I
Yeah.
remember when I went to Mohali uh, for resume review of class of 2022. I was invited. Back then it used to be offline, so there was fun in doing it. Now I don't do it because they ask us to do online. I'm like, I'm not interested in screen time. There was a lawyer and he was really desperate to get into marketing. He's like, tell me what to do to get a marketing role. And I suggested a few things. Uh, to be honest, I have lost touch, so I don't really know where is he right now. But he did reach out to me after a few weeks, saying that he has started doing a lot of things, uh, try to participate in case competitions oriented to marketing, take pro bono live projects within marketing, trying to get an ELP in marketing to kind of modulate your entire profile towards the role that you want. This is important for people from niche background if they really want something very different as an as a outcome.
Cool. Now, let me go into the experience and sort
Yes,
of cover it at a high
even I
level,
am
right? So,
excited to know.
awesome, awesome. So, it starts for me on 13th April. And roughly very high level, the first 3 or 4 months are extremely academic focused, right? So because the grades of your first 3 terms, which are called core terms, and core terms have similar subjects for everyone on the batch, no electives at this stage. So the grades of core terms, which is the first 12 subjects you learn, right? These grades are published to your employers when they shortlist you. So these grades matter in your shortlisting, in your interview conversion, in your profile building, all of that. So everyone tries very hard to get really good marks, studies very hard, do all their assignments very diligently. All of this happens in the first three terms last for first 4 or 4.5 months. So first 4.5 months is extremely academically intense. And it could get to you. It's a difficult time to manage the first 4.5 months. After that, once you have grades for your first 3 terms locked in, any grades after that are not going to go to your placements. Now, the only reason the grades after that would matter is your dean's list and your merit list, which is the top 10% of the batch. Again, merit list is closed for core terms. So the top 10% of the people, so 80 people out of 800 CGPA wise for core terms is called merit list, and 80 people out of 800 for all 7 terms is called dean's list. So people who want to compete for this,
1 terms or 8 terms?
अभी 7 हो गया because block week हो गए 4.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, like 1 term they took out and made it into 4 or 5 block weeks. So, but yeah, so all terms combined basically is called Dean's List. I was part of the merit list. I had a 3.85 out of 4 for the first 3 terms, which has now come down to 3.77,
Good.
3.78. I'm
Means
not
you
so sure if
enjoyed the campus
yeah,
experience.
proper, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so first 4 months are intense academically, then starts your placement prep. So if you start in April, so April, May, June, July is studies like half August. After 15th August or last week of August, you start working on your resume. And then most people, like 80-90% of the batch had really bad resumes coming in, like no thought put into sort of resumes. Because ISB asks for their own portal, right? So like you think about your experiences and put it into two to three lines and all of that, right? It's not a one-pager resume in the ISB format, right? So people have to really work on their resumes. Like I made about 13 versions of it, and um, I remember my first version, like the version I submitted. So ISB on day zero would ask for a resume from you. I would take that resume and put it close to my last resume, which I got my job from. You wouldn't believe it's the same person. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it
Want to
completely.
also believe on your storytelling capabilities that you develop.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, resume is yeah. But it's a process where you work very closely with alums. You reach out to alums left, right, and center on LinkedIn, people you have worked with before. I mean, all the resumes built by SB alums so far would be available to you on the portal. And then you can look at those resumes, find people who are similar to you in profiles, look at how they told their story, and maybe sort of try and tell your story similarly. You can also filter by companies. You can go and say, okay, give me the resumes of everyone McKinsey has hired in the last 4 years. You'll get all the resumes. And then you can figure out, okay, what do McKinsey resumes look like? Or you can go ahead and say, what do HUL resumes look like? So all the HUL, or you can even filter it from industries you're coming in, saying, okay, give me resumes of people who had strategy roles or who had finance roles. And then you will be able to see people similar to you. How did they tell their story? So I would say the next 3 or 4 weeks is all resume building, looking at each, then friends start exchanging resumes with each other. You send your resumes to IIMs, inputs come in, you keep editing till the time it's final. As I said, 13, 14 versions of it probably. Um, Now you would be in the middle of September types, and by now companies would start opening up their roles. So portal would open up, and the company start opening up their role, and for each company you read their job description and you figure out if this is something you want to do and make certain changes in resume per the job description, saying, okay, how do you want to tell your story differently to a strategy company than to a product company, for example. And then you will start submitting all of these resumes. Some people ask for a PPT, some people ask for what do you call that test?
Biometric, no,
No.
some metric
GMAT
test,
like test, yeah, like
psychometric test,
psychometric, not even psychometric, like proper GMAT like test, like math and verbal
and
and all that.
aptitude, something like
Aptitude test, yeah, aptitude test. Some companies will do that. And once after you have done your test, your PPTs, your resumes, you start getting shortlists. Um, and yeah, you could. Uh, there's some sort of higher limit on the number of shortlists you can get. Then out of all the shortlists you have gotten, you can interview for 6 companies out of it, and obviously you can once you accept offers from one company, you're out of placement basically. So that is how it is. So by mid-September, you start applying to all of these roles, and you start mid-September, end of September, you'll apply. This goes on for entire October, um, probably early November as well, and it's only end of November, start of December that interviews start happening. So last half of November and first half of December is when interviews happen, and yeah, and so after you have applied everywhere, September middle, the entire November goes in interview prep. So interview prep again is a massive undertaking because um, interview prep is 2 things basically: PI and case prep.
case prep
PI
if you
is
are a consulting aspirant, just to add.
any strategy roles, like any
Any
consulting
strategy and
strategy,
consulting.
any strategy roles, even product roles have product cases. Product cases are slightly different, but still cases. Marketing have marketing cases, which are cases, but slightly different. So anything
I,
except finance, probably, and operations would have a case. A case, to give you an example, a lot of people might know is, let's say, Domino's revenue has reduced by 17% in the last 3 years. Figure out why and suggest recommendations. You start by breaking out saying, do you mean Domino's worldwide or Domino's India? Okay, Domino's India. Oh, okay, you said revenue has reduced or profit has reduced. Okay, profit has reduced. Profit could reduce because revenue reduced or cost increased. So you keep going in, say cost increase. Did the rent increase, salary increase, ingredient increase? Okay, rent increase. Did rent increase across India or just Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore? Okay, just Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. Okay, now do you want to switch to cloud kitchen in this areas and remain in dine in for other areas? Like then you start. So all of this prep, this takes you a lot of time to sort of fill it in your head. And like you would do like 40, 50 cases with your friends. There are frameworks, there are books by ISB, there are books by IIMs, where you could go through cases and practice them with your friends. Again, this takes good 40, 45 days. So the next 2 terms, after the first 3 terms, the next 2.5 terms is a combo of resume prep plus case prep plus PI prep. PI prep is also very important. PI prep
while managing your academics and exams
while
and
managing your academics.
events and
Absolutely. It's
stress
crazy.
of placement.
Yeah. Stress of not getting shortlists.
Yeah.
Stress of saying इसको कैसे आ गई मुझे आनी चाहिए थी, stuff like that. Stress of saying what am I doing wrong, I didn't get 8 shortlists in a row, what am I doing wrong, is my resume not right, what's happening, all of that. Reaching out to people on LinkedIn left, right, and center saying what should I do, this, that. It's a combination of all of that. And so it's basically PI prep is also very important. PI prep is tell me something about yourself, mastering that answer in sort of 60, 70, 80 seconds. Strengths, weaknesses, your interpersonal behavior, hobbies, stuff like that. Like how do you handle stress? How do you handle a time when you failed? How do you handle a time when somebody just scolded you for no reason? Stuff, things like this. So, and all of this happen, and once you get a job, first week of December, second week of December, it's all chill after that. Like I don't after December, I'm just making sure I pass, I don't fail. And I party a lot. I meet a lot of new people, go out, do a lot of new things, relax, chill for a while. Um, yeah, that's about it. In terms of my placements, I was applying for consulting, and I was coming from strategy role, and I was trying to get into consulting or other strategy roles. I got into Simon Kucher, which is a global consulting firm just starting out in India. They were building they're hiring their first 10 employees. And I got one of those offers, which was really interesting. One other offer was from Zomato. I I was in the final rounds of DevRev and BrowserStack. And the offer that I accepted was from BCGX. BCG has this new arm called BCGX, which does digital venture building and product management, along with consulting with BCG Classic. So I accepted that role. They only took two people in my profile, one me and another lady. Everybody that BCGX has are people from startup background usually. So yeah, it's interesting. I think somebody asked Zomato. Zomato offers a role called generalist. They just call their role generalist. Yeah.
Yeah, they did
I
the same
mean,
during our time.
I do everything. So yeah, that was about it. I gave 10 interviews, three for BCGX, two for
Just
Zomato.
curious, Poojan,
Yeah.
any firm which rejected you after interview?
So DevRev and BrowserStack, I reached last rounds, but I didn't get an offer from them. So
Mhm.
that means they would have rejected me. I also set for Accenture strategy. I gave all rounds, but I didn't get a convert.
Okay.
But Simon Kucher converted, Zomato converted, BCGX converted, and yeah, a couple of other interviews I just skipped because I mean, once you are in the program, you'll
Yeah, yeah.
realize on the day of placements, I gave 10, 11 interviews for the companies I really wanted. I almost skipped two, three other interviews, which I
Yeah.
just, because happening parallelly, all of those things.
I remember the firm I joined, its first round I did at 11:30 p.m.
Yeah, quite
And
crazy
then
timing.
the
Though.
next
Yeah,
round, which was the final round at 8 a.m.
yeah,
It
yeah, crazy.
gets
Yeah,
to you. It's bad. Bad days.
yeah. But a couple of myths broadly. Grades are important, but are important mainly for MBBs or other top recruiters at HUL, PNG, all of that. I don't think companies beyond the top 7 8 companies really care for your grades. It just shouldn't be bad. Like it shouldn't be 2.5. Like, but anything above 3 is fine. Like you don't have to be 3.8 or 3.9. Don't worry about it too much. Case comms are important, but to an extent are overrated because they create a lot of stress in the batch. Because especially for somebody like me who's coming from strategy and wanting to go into strategy consulting or strategy, I had enough demonstrable experience saying, okay, I know how to do strategy. I didn't need to win strategy case competitions. But let's say if I wanted to go into marketing, I might have had to at least win a competition. Like
Yes.
HUL hired very aggressively from their case com winners. So marketing
HUL,
usually is case
HUL
com
Lime
heavy.
is still relevant and going on.
Very relevant. And
Okay.
HUL, people who got placed in HUL mainly came from HUL Lime. So again, marketing case comps are important. But strategy, don't worry about it too much. Like do at least one or two, have something to write in your resume saying campus finalist, national semi-finalist, something like that. But don't go gaga over it because once you come here and you realize you think
Regional
I'm doing
semi-finalist.
stuff like that. But it's almost impossible to manage everything at once because when case comps are happening, it's also a terms when you have to manage your grades. It's also the term when you're very new at campus and the social stimulus is sometimes so much that it creates a lot of other trouble. So
Yes.
we will realize once you're on campus what I'm talking about. But yeah, any last 3 months are a breeze. Like you make friends, you go out, play sports. We play a lot of pickleball. We play a lot of badminton in the. I go to the gym a lot. We eat a lot. We party a lot. It's last 3 months are a breeze. It's the 3 months you should look forward to. And then yeah, you make amazing friends. Some of the best friends. Some of the most beautiful people inside and out I've met are here at ISB. I'll trust them with anything. Like become such close
Also,
friends with them.
also useful
Uh,
friends. They
Extremely useful friends. Yeah, I mean, I would trust them with anything, is what I'm saying, because you go through such an intense time with them, a difficult time for everyone, a lot of really high moments, a lot of really low moments with the same people. That really brings you together, and I mean, I friends are everything here. Like, I mean, and I was lucky to find a few good ones. But yeah, I mean, all of those things are really amazing. The ISB tag is really helpful. Like while we are in the system, we don't realize it as much, but we talk to people outside of your system, and you'll realize it's something. Yeah.
I always give one example when people ask me if ISB tag is important. I said that currently I'm in my third job after my MBA, and which means I must have interviewed for other jobs also. And so far, I have never applied to any job. Jobs have come to me. If
Yeah.
that, if I mean, in a overpopulated country like India, if you can
Yeah.
realize how important is that, I
Yeah.
think realize the importance of tag of ISB.
Oh, and the people you meet here are extremely talented. Like people like Srinab, like he would take a problem and break it down. Like, and I would sit in the class wondering what has he learned that I've not. Like, what does he know that I don't? And you will just the people. So I never did operations, right? And when we were taught operations, I would always have difficulty visualizing operations. So there were people in the class who had spent 10 years doing manufacturing in Maruti Suzuki
PSUs
plant.
and
Now
PSUs also. PSUs people are very smart
PSU
in breaking down operations.
in operations, they would say things and my head would blow out, like saying, "Oh, what did I just hear?" Right? And
Talking
um,
about operations in Maruti, did you meet Devesh? He's very smart.
exactly, Devesh is what I'm talking is who I'm talking about actually. Devesh was in my
Devesh
section, one of
was
the best people I know.
he
Amazing
was
guy.
also one of the best mentees of me last year.
Oh, is it?
I
Oh,
mean,
awesome. Oh, I
I
didn't know.
I had a I told you when we met
Oh
because
yeah,
he did
yeah.
not come in that group because he had already met
That's I don't
me
remember.
before
Yeah.
me.
I love
He
the guy. Yeah.
We worked for a very long time because he
Huh.
started for all the ABCs, ISB.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I also learned a lot from him, and luckily I met him in person for a mock interview also because he was in Dwarka, I was in
Uh,
Gurgaon.
uh,
So I called him.
uh,
एक बार तो मिलना है before you go for your interview.
uh.
He is such an amazing. Where is joining, by the way? I never asked.
Accenture strategy.
Oh yeah, he totally,
But
totally.
I'll tell you a little anecdote about Devesh. So, senior folks, placement happens slightly sooner than senior folks is 6 years
Yes, I know.
plus.
Munindra also got into Accenture strategy from Mohali campus.
Yeah. So Devesh got into exchange strategy, and when our placements were happening, he volunteered to help out, right, to with the placement process, and he was tagged to me when I was interviewing for BCGX. So he would find me rooms. He would hold the meeting till I
Yes,
could join.
yes.
I mean, he has a very big role to play in the fact
I
that I
was
got
the
BCGX.
supplier moving for my friend because I was
Uh,
one of the earliest to get placed during
yeah,
my friend circle. So next
yeah,
6 days I was supplying things here and there.
correct, correct. You help out people, you could. Exactly, exactly.
But Devesh is again is a lot of respect for that guy and a lot of admiration also. Like, and he knows that I
Correct.
really admire him. Okay, great. I mean, now I feel like coming to the campus. Poojan, you're in Hyderabad.
Yeah, yeah, Hyderabad.
When are you leaving?
Fifth. We graduate on fourth.
Okay,
Fifth,
I'll
we have to
come.
vacate.
I have shifted to Hyderabad. I'll
क्या बात
just
कर रहे
come and say
हो? Awesome.
bye to you, to all of you once.
Awesome. Done. Let's do that.
ठीक है. Okay.
Yeah, any questions so far?
No,
Uh,
no new questions. I think I should
Hi,
also not. कोई
hi,
wants to
hi.
ask?
Yeah, hi, Anshul. Hi, Poojan. My name is Abhi Jain, and I'm admit this year. I'm joining Mohali campus on 12th April. I
uh-huh.
am somebody who is having an experience of over 13 years. I just wanted to ask Poojan what was the scenario of the placements
Abhi,
this
I
year.
think I should connect you to this guy we were talking about, Devesh. Devesh had 11 plus years of work ex, and
Okay,
he is an amazing guy, very, very helpful and approachable. Just ping me on WhatsApp. Of
I'll do
course, if
that.
Poojan wants to add anything, he can add right now.
No, but in general, it was good. Like for senior folks, both routes are open. Senior folks के लिए एक अलग से ही round होता है where companies come and hire for senior positions. And if you don't like the positions there, if that doesn't work out, you always get a shot at the normal placement route. So you get a couple of chances, and I think I respect senior folks a lot, and senior folks are generally very well respected in the community, and uh, people look up to them for advice on
They
on a
have
lot of
selected
things.
very mature, good senior people,
Yeah,
at least last batch. I mean, I don't know about this batch because this batch I accept two or three people, Nikhil and Kaushal, who we met yesterday, for people who also attended yesterday's call. I don't have a lot of senior people this year, but last year, people like Devesh and Munindra, they're so sorted, so smart. They have selected very nice people among for the
absolutely.
senior folk.
Yep.
Okay. So thank you, Pujan. So generally, what kind of roles were they landing, the senior executives mainly, and into what companies? If just a glimpse, if you could provide.
Yeah, so two, three roles that I remember on the top of my head is one is Accenture strategy. They hired for, I think, manager roles, senior consultant slash manager roles for senior folks. Amazon has this pathways sort of a role that they again prefer senior folks. Supply chain roles usually prefer senior folks. Um, Companies like again TVS, manufacturing companies again prefer senior folks, and a lot of senior folks usually have a defense slash PSU sort of a background. So it helps that they integrate very well into this sort of operation, supply chain, and Accenture strategy roles. Um, these are on the top of my head, but as Anshul was saying, Devi should know more. Like I know very high level stuff.
Abhi, just text me on WhatsApp. I'll connect you to
Thank,
Abhi.
thank you,
Anyway, you
Pujan.
should be connecting to your seniors.
No,
So,
That will be great. Thanks for your help. Thanks for your time.
no
I'll
problem.
connect with.
awesome.
I think I'll
Done.
close the call now because Poojan is literally having one of the. Shreyas, you can get connected with Poojan later because now you are also a part of the ISB community now.
Awesome. Yeah.
Sure, sure,
Just
sure.
because I should not stop him from having, because literally 20 bache hain. I'm sure he has other better
Exactly.
plans.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot, Poojan. I was not expecting you to say yes at this hour. I wouldn't have said yes at if had I been at your place because I was at another zone during these last 20-25 days at campus. But thanks a lot. It means a lot to me, and I'm sure other people would also echo my sentiments. And yes, I mostly you will never need me anymore. But if ever you
No,
need me,
no,
feel free to ping
absolutely.
me. Okay,
And
great. Thank you. Thanks a
yeah,
lot.
thanks
And I will see
everyone.
you before you leave for sure.
Absolutely. Looking forward. Yeah.
Yes. Ciao. Bye bye.
Thanks everyone. All the best. See you all.